In this video, I will respond to an interview about abortion and share my overall perspective on the topic. So let's first jump to the clip where a woman is interviewed about abortion and is basically being persuaded to oppose it. Now, if you'd like to watch the original clip, check the link in the description.
Would you say that you're more pro-life, pro-choice, or somewhere in between?
I will say I'm kind of in the middle. It's completely up to her because getting a child, that changes your whole life. Let's say that you don't know that you're pregnant and you figure it out many weeks after you're in the process. I think it still should be allowed. I will say that it's kind of sad to watch a baby get teared apart. If it's a baby that was completely almost formed like a baby.
That was a baby at 11 weeks.
I don't know, it's starting to make me think. Yeah.
Don't you think you should give the baby the chance to live too?
Yes, of course.
Alright, first off, let's talk about the difference between pro-life and pro-choice. Pro-choice basically means that the pregnant woman should have the freedom to decide whether to end her pregnancy. Pro-life, on the other hand, is basically the opposite, the belief that the pregnant woman should not have the freedom to decide whether to end her pregnancy. Now, why would a pregnant woman want to end her pregnancy? Well, there are numerous reasons why she might choose abortion. Just to name a few, she might be too young or simply not ready to have a child, or the pregnancy could pose a danger to her health or life due to medical conditions, or the pregnancy is a result of rape. So the question then is, in these and other circumstances where a woman feels severely uncomfortable with her pregnancy, is it morally right to take away her freedom to decide whether to end the pregnancy? Let me point out, though, that women in particular, as they are the ones who bear the physical and emotional burden of pregnancy, should do everything they can to prevent pregnancy if it's something they don't wish to happen. Of course, exceptions exist, such as sexual assault. But parents and education also play a critical role in guiding young women toward making the right decisions and having the strength to follow through on them. What was also brought to my mind when watching this interview was the fallacy known as appeal to emotion. The interviewer tried to provoke a visceral reaction using graphic imagery and emotionally charged language instead of addressing the complexities of the ethical debate surrounding abortion. The interviewer's goal seemed to be steering the interviewee in a certain direction. Now, I'm not saying the imagery or language the interviewer used is inherently wrong, but it does lack nuanced perspectives. And on that note, for example, the interviewer asked, "Don't you think you should give the baby the chance to live too?" While it is a fair question, it does make me wonder, at what cost? And I'm not just talking about the cost to the woman, I'm also talking about the cost to the child. Imagine a young woman who becomes pregnant after a one-night stand, which, by the way, is not a very responsible and virtuous thing to do in my opinion. The young woman doesn't have financial stability, and the man she spent the night with, whom she barely knows, disappears after the encounter. So then, what kind of life would that child have in such a situation? Many of us know that even planned pregnancies with financial stability, a home, and support can still lead to broken or toxic families where children are the victims. There are young people who say they wish they were never born, even though they were born into seemingly ideal circumstances. And I'm not saying these young people should be thinking that way, I'm only underlining the challenges faced by those born into families that became broken or toxic. Unfortunately, not everyone grows up to be a decent person. Many people who contribute harm to the world were once babies, offered a chance to live. I think it's important, ideally speaking, that children should be brought into situations where both parents are truly ready and committed to providing a stable, loving environment. Now, the process of abortion, seeing a fetus life end in a tragic way, is, without question, difficult and heartbreaking. But then again, what's ultimately more devastating, the death of the fetus, weighed against the potential immense relief the woman feels afterward? Or prioritizing the life of the fetus, but weighed against the harm that might come to the pregnant woman and possibly the child if the pregnancy is brought to full term? Life is one thing, but a decent life, one that is filled with stability, security, love, understanding, and opportunity, is another.